everyone. I'm here joined with QV. He's part of the U.S. Space Force. QV, tell me how long you've been with the Force.
So I've been in the Air Force and Space Force a total of 17 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
so
sir.
how long were you with the Air Force compared to the Space Force?
Oh, so I was in the Air Force for 16 years, and I had the opportunity to transfer into the Space Force because they were taking a lot of us in a year ago, so I got 1 year of the Space Force, and all 17 years has been wonderful so far. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me about that opportunity to move to the Space Force.
So the opportunity to move to Space Force, there was a call for, if you were interested, you could apply and send your statement of intent in, and then you were competitively selected from a pool of volunteers to go into the Space Force because General Raymond, our Chief of Space Operations, our 4-star general, he wanted people that were motivated, that wanted to be there, and then it was a great opportunity to come over.
Tell me about how you felt when you found out that you were being transferred to the Space Force.
Oh, so I'm a Star Trek, I'm a Battlestar Galactica, I'm a nerd at heart, right? I love science fiction, so when I heard, I was like, oh, I got selected for Space Force, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in all the way. Let's get to the moon, let's get to the Mars. I want to do all of that. Yes, ma'am.
That's exciting. So tell me, obviously you're here, how is important are events like this and robotics for getting into careers like the Space Force?
Oh, so first robotics, this is, one word is wow, this is what we need to do after more and more, because we need more people, more young men and women to be interested in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM, and that's the foundation. So these things like this competition opens amounts of doors to not only to the Space Force and the Air Force, but also other opportunities for the industry where we rely on those technical expertise.
Okay. What advice would you give these students that are maybe interested in joining the Space Force?
So my advice for the students that want to join the Space Force is study and love learning because it never stops, right? And if you feel like you want Space Force, we're looking for people like space intelligence. Hey, if you like reading, Space Force for you. If you like programming, cyber, right? Programming is awesome. Join hackathons. If you don't know what hackathon is, Google it. You Google everything nowadays, right? And also, if you don't want that, it's like, hey, we need people that actually not only to with Space Force, like to maintain the satellites and the systems that help operate. So we need people that are technically proficient.
Gotcha. Okay. How does the Space Force compare to other branches?
Oh, the Space Force is small, very small. Right now there's 8,400 active duty members in the Space Force Guardians. We call ourselves Guardians, right? So you got the Army soldiers, you got the Marines, you got Navy sailors, you got the Air Force Airmen, and you have Space Force Guardians. So we are 8,400 strong. We're pretty small, right? We're not. We're new. We started 2 years ago. It's beyond Netflix, right? So the Space Force is a real thing.
Okay, and obviously you guys are going to be growing.
Yes, ma'am, we are growing, and we're going to grow smartly and deliberately. So we're going year by year where for example, accessions to join the Space Force is 500 people per year. There's a very, very small amount where the whole process is boarded, there's the interview process and so forth to join the Space Force.
Gotcha. What do you think are some of the strongest characteristics that someone needs to have to be in the Space Force?
Initiative.
Okay.
To join the Space Force, you have to have initiative and problem solving. We want people that could see something, identify the problem, figure out the solutions, and to get after it. And we're also in the Space Force is looking for people to help identify the problems that we didn't even know about. Because as we further explore space, we look up. Right now, space is limited to satellites and stuff like what's in the future, right? You look at today with the companies like SpaceX, Blue Origins. Like SpaceX is all about let's get to Mars. Blue Origins is about how do we stay on Mars. Those are the questions that we want inquisitive minds to stump and come to the Space Force and also the Air Force.
Like you said, it just started 2 years ago. It's still building. Tell me about the recruiting process.
Oh, so the recruiting process starts with one simple website, www.airforce.com. You go to that one, and then you just put your information in. Someone will contact you about the opportunities the Air Force and Space Force could offer. And if you don't want to do that, just look up the number and pick up the phone call. The process starts with a phone call.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you go to the Air Force website, and it will
guide you. Like it will just ask you like, hey, basic qualification questions, right? So it will just say, hey, what's your email, contact number, where you're from, and things like that, and then someone will reach out to you. And then for the qualifiers to join the Air Force and Space Force is the recruiter will walk through the whole process of going through, hey, are you physically qualified, mentally qualified, academically qualified, and then depending on your ASVAB score, right, you're going to take a test. Like, there's tests everywhere. Like, it never stops.
Yeah.
And once you take the test and see how well you score, and then that'll open how many opportunities for you. And there's over 130 different careers in the Air Force, and there's 3 in particular for the Space Force.
Gotcha. All right, very exciting. Something I'm really interested in. I don't know if I could do it, but I'm sure a lot of these students would be something that they'd be interested in.
It is, and we take anyone from 18 to 36.
All right.
And one last thing is not too late. We had a electrician that has spent, who was 18 years in as an electrician, right? And he came to us and saying, hey, I want to join the Air Force. I'm like, all right, how old are you now? Oh, I'm actually it was 18 to 39. I made a mistake. So 39. He was 39 in December. He came to us of last year. He turned 40 on January 19th. He shipped out on January 18th. He was the oldest applicant to join basic military training because after he always wanted to join the military. He had multiple houses. He had his life set, but he's like, I want to do something different for a few years. He came to us and we said, yeah, we got doors open, bro.
Just made it.
He just made it by 24 hours. It's never too late.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for your time, QV, and we're going to send it back to you guys.